It's often repeated that we're living through the golden age of television right now, and given the absurd spate of high-quality shows gracing our TVs, laptops, and if you're into that kind of thing, smartphones at any 1 second, it's tough to disagree. But great TV is one thing. What about the shows that shocked, confounded, and took us all totally off guard? The following 10 TV series, all aired from 2019's fall season through to today, served up some of the most mind-meltingly unexpected moments across all entertainment media. From jaw-dropping plot twists to insane death scenes, ridiculous cameos, and every balmy concoction in between, these are the moments that just about nobody banked on seeing this year. Of course, it goes without saying that spoilers will follow for some of the hottest and most talked about TV shows of the last 6 months, so you've been warned. I'm Josh from WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 TV moments you didn't expect to see this season. Number 10. Picard dies, but gets a new body. Star Trek Picard. Early in Star Trek Picard, it's revealed that Picard is suffering from a terminal illness, and to most fans, this seemed like a piece of long-term storytelling that would pay off in a future season with Picard's probable demise. After all, the show had already been renewed for a second season before the first even began airing, so nobody expected the show to resolve Picard's fate this year, right? Well, because of this, fans were indeed surprised that the season finale indeed ended with Picard succumbing to his disease. But, of course, there was a twist. While his body died, his consciousness was transferred into a synthetic golem body, allowing Picard to live out a few extra decades of life in his new chassis. Fans were heavily divided on this twist, some seeing it as a neat wrinkle to Picard's characterization, while others viewed it as a needlessly silly affectation. Either way, just about nobody saw it coming. Number 9. Jonah Hill, Sean Penn, and Mila Kunis' cameos, Curb Your Enthusiasm. Curb Your Enthusiasm's 10th season was absolutely filled to the brim with hilarious and memorable cameos, including the likes of Jon Hamm, Laverne Cox, Chris Martin, Clive Owen, Vince Vaughn, Isla Fisher, Timothy Olyphant, and so on. But 3 veritable A-listers made fleeting and hugely unexpected appearances in the season's final episode, setting social media alight in the process. First of all, Jonah Hill appeared as himself, having been inspired by Larry David's Spite store and in turn hilariously opening his own Spite Deli to get back at some unsatisfactory service he received. Secondly, Sean Penn showed up to explain that he'd open a Spite exotic bird store after being sold a parrot that didn't talk. And finally, Mila Kunis revealed that she'd open a Spite watch repair store. As the cherry on top, when Larry then asks Mila to actually repair his watch, she says she doesn't know how. Despite Curb having so many legendary and unforgettable cameos throughout its run, this top-tier trio were undeniably among the very best, if only for sheer shock value alone. Number 8. Jimmy and Kim get married. Better Call Saul. Better Call Saul fans were left picking their collective jaws up off the floor when, in the 5th season 6th episode Wexler vs. Goodman, Jimmy's girlfriend Kim offers him an ultimatum. They either break up or they get married. It was an ending so jarring and unexpected that fans naturally wondered whether both they and Jimmy were being had, but lo and behold, in the very next episode, Jimmy and Kim do legitimately tie the knot. In fact, it's before the title cards are even shown. Of course, the arrangement is ultimately more a practical one than a romantic one, to grant them the spousal privilege of never having to testify against one another, but regardless, it's safe to say that this still came totally out of left field. In a season where many expected Kim to finally reject Slip and Jimmy outright, to see that relationship become official was a complete rug pull. Number 7. Bill's son witnesses child murder. Mindhunter. Mindhunter's 2nd season was another deliciously dark plunge into the world of FBI criminal profilers and serial killers. But its most shocking moment ultimately wasn't a sordid depiction of a real-life murderer, but an entirely fictional subplot. Midway through the season, it's revealed that FBI agent Bill Tench's son Brian was witness to the murder of a toddler, whose body was discovered in a house being sold by Bill's wife Nancy. It's eventually revealed that the boy was accidentally killed by some local kids while Brian was present, causing Bill to spend the rest of the season wondering whether or not his increasingly despondent son is destined for a troubled future. The subplot received a mixed response from fans, with some feeling that it was a clumsy attempt to tie Tench's personal and private lives together, especially as the real-life investigator Tench is based on, Robert Ressler, had no such turmoil in his life. And so, in a season that focused on a chilling depiction of the Atlanta child murders of 1979 to 1981, the incident with Bill's son came completely out of nowhere. Number 6. Cal is Dr. Manhattan. Watchmen. Back when HBO's incredible Watchmen series debuted, it seemed pretty clear that audiences wouldn't be catching a glimpse of the legendary Dr. Manhattan for a good while, probably not until season 2 at least. So audiences were gobsmacked then when it was revealed late in the season that Angela Abar's husband Cal was actually Dr. Manhattan all along, unbeknownst to even himself. Nobody really thought we'd encounter Manhattan at all this season, let alone that he'd been hiding as an otherwise relatively unassuming supporting character. So to see a fully blued up John Osterman late in the season was quite the shocker indeed. It's probably for the best though, because with series creator Damon Lindelof departing the show after its first season, and HBO stating that they have no plans for a follow-up, this is very likely all we're going to get. Number 5. Dolores clones herself. Westworld. Westworld dropped one of its juiciest plot twists yet in the recent 4th episode of its 3rd season, where the show finally revealed the identities of the Pearls. That's the host's control units, which Dolores smuggled out of Westworld at the end of season 2. As it turns out, the Pearls are all in fact clones of Dolores herself, residing within the hosts Charlotte Hale, Martin Connells, and Sato. There are few TV shows as enthusiastically speculated about as Westworld, and needless to say, almost all of the fan theories about the Pearls' identities proved to be categorically incorrect with this mind-blowing rug pull. Whether you were left pleasantly surprised or just pissed off at being jerked around for 18 months, it was an absolute shocker. Number 4. MEYER is the wolf hunter. It says a lot about a show when the most shocking moment isn't the last-minute reveal that both Adolf Hitler and Eva Braun are still alive. Amazon's Hunters certainly wasn't perfect, but it at least executed an extremely satisfying plot twist in its final episode, revealing that Nazi hunting Holocaust survivor MEYER Offerman was not who he claimed to be. In fact, he was the total opposite of who he claimed to be. The character's grandson Jonah discovers that his relative is actually Wilhelm Zux, aka the Wolf, a Nazi doctor at Auschwitz who killed the real MEYER, assumed his identity, and had plastic surgery to escape the Soviets. Zux then lived as this different man for 30 years and formed the Hunters in order to atone for his horrid past, though that ultimately didn't prevent Jonah from killing him. Al Pacino did such a terrific job playing this character that the big reveal was a genuine WTF moment, even if, like the show as a whole, many found its collision of real life and comic booky pulp a little bit too jarring for its own good. Number 3. The weirdly happy ending, American Horror Story 1984. Of all the tall tales American Horror Story has spun across its 9 seasons, the most recent 1984 volume came up with the most insane final twist of all, a happy ending. That's right, American Horror Story 1984 wrapped up with an oddly hopeful, even emotional finale, as is most uncharacteristic for the series. In it, Bobby Richer ends up leaving Camp Redwood alive and well after the ghosts team up to take care of the murderous Margaret Booth. And Bobby even gets to have a tearful farewell with his family in the season's final moments. Fans were no doubt waiting for a last-minute gotcha moment to ruin Bobby's smooth escape, but incredibly, it never came. It's tough to think of a more affecting family reunion to come from such an unexpected place in recent TV history. I mean, just admit it, you cried a little, didn't you? Number 2. ASHFORD dies, The Expanse. The Expanse served up one hell of a surprise at the end of its 4th season by killing off eventual fan-favourite character ASHFORD, who gets spaced by OPA pirate Marco in the season's chilling final scene. Despite the expectation that book readers would have the inside track on the show's major plot points, ASHFORD's death surprised even them, given that he actually doesn't die in the books and effectively disappears after the 3rd entry into the novel series. Yet, in fairness, the TV ASHFORD is basically a different character to his paperback counterpart, and season 4 quite aptly developed him into a far more interesting and fleshed out character than he ever was in written form. And so his brutally unsentimental demise, complete with a lingering glimpse of his corpse being exposed to the vacuum of space, was all the more upsetting as a result. Number 1. All of it. Tiger King, murder, mayhem, and madness. Despite all of the big fictional TV surprises this past year, nothing has quite caught the world by storm like Netflix's compulsively binge-worthy docuseries Tiger King. Emerging from totally out of nowhere, becoming the TV show you absolutely had to watch during the present global predicament, Tiger King has been on everyone's lips by the sheer virtue of its scarcely believable insanity. The ridiculous, implausible moments come so thick and fast that it's actually impossible to choose just one for this list. Murder plots, three-way marriages, sex cults, suicide, and the most skin-crawlingly awful country music videos you've ever seen, to name only a few. The show proved such a viral hit for Netflix that the streamer even commissioned a post-mortem episode in which Joel McHale interviewed some of the series' participants via video chat to provide additional context. At the time of recording this as well, the story only continues to get weirder, with Jeff Lowe currently talking about how there's bodies buried on the Tiger King's former premises. All in all, Tiger King just goes to show that, as creative as Hollywood's finest might be, there's nothing quite like a stranger-than-fiction true story to capture the public's attention. So that's our list. I want to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Were there any major TV moments that happened this year that you totally did not expect to see? And do you agree with what I've got here? Either way, while you're down there, could you give us a like, share, subscribe, and head over to whatculture.com for more lists and news like this every single day. Even if you don't though, I've been Josh, thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.